from other people. We got them from Sue Nesda, Klaus Hornell, Hans Haberator. I bothered them for weeks about like, is this spelled correctly? What do you think of this and all that jazz? They were a great help to this. I also was looking at that book over there.
Yeah, I just looked at it.
Found a lot of the information from Tracht and Landschaft Bayern. Really fun, little, interesting, simple book. You guys have probably all seen it. And as well as the Tracht book that Hans is kind of working on for you, those of you who know it. So I hope you enjoy. I really want this to be more of a feel free to participate, add in any thoughts you see aren't in there. Remember that Tracht, there's a lot of different reasons why we do what we do, as well as there's a lot of different theories on why certain things have happened. So if you disagree with it, feel free to point out the other point or anything like that, and just remember that it's very subjective. So enjoy. Thank you.
I'm going to add my own disclaimer on any German that I'm reading. I apologize ahead of time.
Oh yeah, I didn't double check spelling. Sorry everyone.
There are many forms of Tracht out there. Some Tracht is worn for ceremonies, some is worn for dancing. Of course, that's what we did this morning. Some is worn in certain regions, and most of us are aware of the distinct differences in most of these categories. Today I want to dive into a few forms of the Tracht that we don't always talk about, but we definitely should. Also, I'm going to start using we instead of some of us, because we are a united force in dedicating ourselves to one thing, the preservation of our culture. You guys came to this workshop today to expand your knowledge, so your presence here shows your dedication and that you paid a lot of money to come here today. But I like the first reason better. I say we because you may not have known it before I say it, but you certainly will afterwards. And I hope this inspires you to do research of your own. Okay, so we all know how many Maßschuhe our skirt should be from the floor, but do we ask if that is a requirement for all regions? We all know which side of our apron, I actually have mine on the wrong side, guys, sorry. We all know which side our bow should be on. So to the left of the apron, that girl's taken. A bow to the right, the boy should set their sights.
That's an interesting, that's a good rhyme.
Except that we all tend to pick a direction and we're either all married or we're all free.
That's good.
It's the opposite.
Okay, there you go.
Because
In German, it's right? Your ring's on the right hand. Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, what about when it's a Verein Tracht and we're all wearing the same thing? Do we
Exactly.
still tie it opposite?
Well, this is just a history thing. This isn't
Okay,
so much like this
okay.
is what your Verein should be doing. How
No,
dare you?
that's
do
what
it. Yeah.
I understand that, but what if it's a Verein Tracht?
it should be a standard.
Uniform, right?
Yeah, uniform.
Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you.
Within your own club, right?
Someone,
Okay.
no, if you're married, it should be on
Okay.
your right. On my right.
So we all know undergarments are required, not a suggestion. But do we ever think about what the purpose of those garments provide outside of protecting our virtue? Because modest girls are the hottest. Okay. I'd like to highlight 3 different regions in this presentation. Miesbach, Fensler, and Chiemgau. We won't talk about the expanse of these areas, but just some highlights of the differences and interesting facts. Okay, let's start with the most familiar, Miesbach. It could be said that the entirety of this presentation is based on Marilee's desire to mention this beautiful piece of history. Tracht is often referred to as living clothing. Just like people, it changes in look and function. The Meterstecher is no exception. Once upon a time, the meters had loops instead of hooks, so closed circles. The Meterstecher was used to string the chain through. As you can see today, the loops are now hooks. The Meterstecher, however, was not disbanded. Instead, it lost its purpose and gained decor. They are lovely to accent any fest chalk. They're really cool. Okay. Another piece of chalk that we don't see as often is the Spencer Gevand, thank you. This is a floral piece of Miesbacher chalk. It is worn with a Miesbacher Dirndlhut und Gangsbart. The Spencer has a lovely peplum on the back, as you can see in this floral dirndl here. We couldn't find any.
I couldn't find the back of any of those girls. So I just found that online, what a peplum looks like.
And for those of you who have trouble with your meter popping out of your skirt, good news, the Spencer stays out of the skirt. The apron is tied to the side to show off your beautiful peplum. One of the most interesting parts is the skirt. The skirt is usually horizontally striped with a few different colors. One of the colors in the skirts should match the Spencer, so it coordinates real well. Last of the Miesbacher chalk that we're going to talk about, but it's certainly not least, is the scallop. This elaborate chalk is first worn on a woman's wedding day. That's right, ladies, you gotta wear black. Different strokes. This chalk is made with 40 meters of black lace. Another interesting fact about Schalk is that it is newer chalk. It started to appear around the late 1800s. Okay, our next region is the, thank you, that one. This chalk has been worn since about 1800. Best chalk for women nowadays is a red wool Spencer and skirt with the blue shawl, silk shawl and apron. The neckline is wide. The shawl is the most distinguishing feature and has a long silk fringe. Chiemgau is our next region. The regional tract, this regional tract is actually very young. We don't have to look far into history to study this region's current tract. It appeared around the mid-1900s. The most distinguishing feature in this region is its flat spinning skirt. With the exception of about 4 inches, the skirt spins entirely parallel to the floor. The women also dance on their toes instead of flat-footed. Man, they probably have giant calf muscles. This shawl is beautiful. It is held close to the body, as you can see this by the top of the skirt. The shawl is actually attached by the apron bands. The shawl also does not pass over the shoulders. This hairstyle is the most characteristic of the Chiemgau tract. It's pretty self-explanatory, but beautiful nonetheless. I don't know if you all ever seen the YouTube video of it being done, but that is work there. I have no more slides, Mary.
Yeah, that's it. Like, just I want to keep it super informal, whatever, and I kind of wanted it to be more discussion-based. We all gals could get together and discuss what we know or are interested in or anything like that.
So Kathy was telling me earlier what that, instead of being called a peplum, what did you say it's called on the?
The peplum?
Oh,
Oh, here we go.
It's a Bezirksfest.
A real life demonstration here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you said,
Semi-formal.
okay. Very nice.
Bezirksfest.
And it looks,
What's the peplum called?
and it's, so it appears, and from what I've seen, it's not always the horizontal stripes, it looks like. I mean, it can be just things that go together, right colors that go together, or is there a?
This is different from the Miesbacher.
Yeah, these are
This is
two
very
different
felt.
outfits.
Okay,
The Miesbacher should be.
it should be
just
horizontal
stripes,
stripe
and
then.
Usually for within the groups, it's custom made for them. So that
Okay.
your club won't have their clubs and so on.
Okay,
So on that level, it would be similar to like the Scottish plaids, right? Which are,
yeah.
the tartans,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which are very specific to a clan or
Yeah.
an area.
I think one of the most current examples within the Galfabat is the Edmonton group.
Oh, yes.
When they
They
joined,
have
they
their
actually
group, right.
went, and I don't recall what specific little village it was, but it was a little town, that is the weaving, and they had the fabric specifically woven to match that.
Wow.
So that nobody else will have that weaving of that color combination here.
Peggy, can you do me a favor, because I missed you on video when you stood up and gave the lovely demonstration before.
Of the apron, so you can see the shirts and like that.
Yeah.
I'll take the apron, you do two.
And you said this is the Velton
That is six.
Ridden Face.
And then I'll take this stuff.
Yeah. So we can really see that.
Sorry, I got it. And then there's the.
Okay, let's, the string is like sitting right on it. Okay, there we go. So now we can get a nice look. And if you'll turn to the side a little, perfect. Okay, you've made a lovely Vanna. Awesome.
Gorgeous.
Thank you, Peggy.
Well, she is.
Any other comments?
There's a button back there, but I can't. Well, see, Mrs. Paulus will be happy. The lady that made it.
Marilee, do you have your little, the email that you sent out?
Oh, turn around though.
You could just bring it up
The
and
other
talk
way.
about
The
that.
other way.
Jennifer
All the way.
also has.
Oh, yeah. See?
You know what, because I hate wearing a meter.
Yeah.
This takes care of this.
And also for when I play music, it's better.
More comfortable.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sorry, I hate
Hmm.
wearing a meter.
But I bought a beautiful meter sticker, so I'll be wearing mine.
Just because you don't wear it doesn't mean you stop buying.
Yeah, well, my husband won't think that.
I find it infinitely more comfortable to wear. It's faster to put on.
Okay. Hi, I'm Sue, everybody, if you don't know me.
Once upon a time, she was Alice at one of the
Yeah, that's
Galpas.
right. What Galfest was that? That was
Buffalo.
Yes.
No, it wasn't. No, that was right. It was Hershey.
Anyways, last year, Marilee prepared this document that she sent out to all of our girls within the group. I think she shared it with the men too.
Yeah, there's like,
And I thought it was kind of nice to maybe bring up some of the information that she put in there today, since we still have some time to go with anyways. And basically, she was trying to get across to some of in the last couple of years, our group has grown significantly. So we have a lot of new people in our group, people who've been with us for 4 years or less. And for somebody who maybe grew up in the US and just saw us performing somewhere and said, that looks like fun, and then they come and they get to know us and decide they really like us, to understand why we do something a certain way or we have specific requirements, sometimes that doesn't get communicated out to everybody. So she created this document, we sent it out, and basically she was telling us in the document why we do things now is because we want to be as traditional to the time period as we can. So, she sent out the document saying, well, back in 1790, were people wearing wristwatches? No, they weren't. So why are we wearing them now? We shouldn't be, right? So most of the men you now see, they're wearing pocket watches, right? That would have been traditional for the time frame. So she talked about the hair. So why are we required to put our hair up? Well, it's not that we're required to put our hair up, but if you were in 1790 or 1820 or 1890, how would your hair be? Most women weren't running around with their short bobs. They all had long hair that you got out of the way during the day while you're working. So up goes the hair. You go to church, you put your hair up because it was the respectful thing to do. So that is why, some of the reasons why we do some of the things that we do now.
Scroll on down.
Yeah, and she had another little thought in there too. Of course, they didn't bathe and shower every day or wash their hair every day. So if your hair is in a bun, it's probably a lot nicer than, having flyaway greasy hair. You want to add something to that?
Yeah, it was also true that women who had been arrested put into jail for some, whatever, crime or being disreputable, that their heads would have been shaved and their hair cut against lice and all sorts of things that would have come up with prison. So if your hair was short, that would have indicated to everybody else that came across you that you were a disreputable woman at some point in your past. And that was absolutely not what anybody wanted. No man would marry you if you ran around with short hair. So having long hair was a source of pride and a source of beauty. And it was something really to be proud of and to try to make, take care of and maintain.
On the other hand, you're forgetting that a lot, the custom was to cut the hair sometimes when they had a fever, a terrible fever, they would cut their hair, so that it wouldn't always mean that they were disreputable women.
Yeah, that's true. I've read things about that before, and I like to read historical novels. So, and they would do that. They would cut a woman's hair if she came down with a fever or was unconscious for a period of time. They felt it was like a relief to the brain.
Yeah.
And so it would take a while to grow back, but I would guess that same woman would not be going out into public for a very long time because of the stigma that would have been assigned to that. Yeah.
Peggy brings up another good point when she just mentioned back here saying that you put your hair up as a sign of modesty too, and it was only revealed wrong to your husband or your close family.
Very good. Yeah, in the privacy of your own. Yeah. So, yeah, I think we talked about the wristwatches. Plastic, of course. Plastic was invented in 1907, so it really doesn't have any place in what we are currently trying to emulate. Again, makeup. Makeup was usually worn by, yes, loose women. The ones that didn't wear their Unterhosen.
Yeah, right?
Right? No modesty slip for them.
That's not a requirement.
So again, if it's worn at all, it should just be very, very natural looking. So, you keep your tones very, very neutral, and it should not look or appear to somebody that you even have it on.
Less is more.
Yes. So, I'm just trying to think, I'm reading through this.
So they're just looking nice, mostly for the guys.
Yeah, again, it's very important that we're clean, that we iron our things properly, that we don't have wrinkles, that we take pride in what we have. I mean, going home, getting undressed and throwing it in a pile on the floor is probably not the best way to take care of your Tracht. But hanging it properly, cleaning it properly, things like that. So we all want to take pride in how we look. And when we take pride in how we look, people appreciate us more. Yes?
I just wanted to bring up too that part of when Marilee put this together, part of it was to show what the history was, and part of it was also to recognize the things that, because we do live in 2015 and so forth, that, as she said, it's living wear. So that means there is some evolution, back to the hair discussion. I mean, obviously now, not everybody wears long hair. So then we look back to, okay, well, what's the tradition? And then what are the best ways to adapt into that? And that's, of course, in the case of hair, a lot of times you'll see where the extra bun pieces or extra, ponytails put in to be able to make a bun. There was the comment on there about men didn't have long hair then, but if a man has long hair, we're not going to tell them they can't dance, but then they would have to have their hair up and contained. So there's things that are simply verboten, like we're not going to run around with plastic or a watch or something, but then there's other things where we adapt to the times, because all of us are not Schuhplattler in Tracht 100% of the time, so we have to adopt for, we have a lot of girls that have many, 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 many earrings, but they don't wear many, many earrings when they're on the dance floor.
Anyway, so I just thought I'd like to share a few things that Marilee has announced last year to us. Oh, that was nail polish too, again. So within our club, usually we request that you have French manicure or just clear polish if you're going to be doing, manicuring your nails. colors, no sparkles, rhinestones,
And
black.
let's see, rotten.
I'm gonna do green because it matches today.
Yeah, right.
One trick I learned from Anita Knowles.
Yes.
She, works out in a government office, and so she has to keep her nails done. She gets gel tips on her nails, but when you get your gels done, instead of doing that last polish where it makes them really glossy and shiny, she just has the manicurist not do that last layer, and so that when it dries, the nail dries and looks, I'm telling you, almost 100% natural. You can still see the color and the matte, it has a matte finish, and you can still see the moon underneath the fingernail, and so it's a really good option for women that still want to maintain, done nails, without having to go to the colors.
You can have the gel nail and then have them buff it as the last procedure, and it looks almost like, this has a little bit of gloss to it, but it looks very natural. Just tell them to buff it after the gel.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And special thank you to Sue and Kirsten.
We do have Marilee's book up here,
Yeah, check it out.
so if anybody would like to look at it. And then I also have my Niesbacher book, so I brought that with me too. Again, they're up here if anybody wants to look at them. And
Somebody explain what's hanging up here?
oh, this is Hannah's.
I forgot. Sorry, everyone. So when I was going over the shawl, I was gonna kind of point out the similarities.
Yes.
On the Kirsetn. Hannah, would you like to point out some examples?
This is my Kirsetn, and just last summer I was able to finally get the needlework scarf which goes inside to decorate and really dress it up more. First I was only wearing it like we have the insert in our red Tracht, and then I finally found the needlework which goes inside to dress it up. And this is a hat my husband found 110 years old, and we went back to the manufacturer and they just freshened it up for me, and it's still everything the original and the way it is worn.
And so how this is Niesbach?
No, that is
Not the
in
Kirsetn.
house.
Okay.
In the India line. Yeah. And they're ribbon.
They're a little different.
Yeah. Yeah, they go. So that's how they have, oops, levels. I don't have my hair done properly for that. You have the ribbon in the back, and then it runs down along the dress. So, and then we were talking about, you were talking about different areas, different customs, different costumes. We are often in Bad Ischl, Salzkammergut, close to Bavaria. The borders were moving back and forth between Germany, Austria. They're pretty much brothers and sisters next door. And there you have the typical color is the pink skirt.
You're not creative, you guys, all right? Some things don't stand on their own.
But aussi, yeah?
Part of same, yeah. This one is part of same, and the other one is, this is partition.
And these are women's hats.
Those are lady hats. And you will recognize the ribbon is very, very wide. You only find it in that area, that it is that wide. I'm just clumsy.
Yeah.
So, this is my favorite. I wear it often because you really have good shade, and often I run without glasses. So, and I love that one because you never would combine the colors that way, but once you see it,
It's one of my favorites, I haven't got one yet.
oh really? That is Salzkammergut. That is what they show. So, I like. Is that Tirolisch?
It's a Tirolish,
Yeah,
it's not a
yeah.
specific region in Tirol.
So I just wanted to share because you said there are different areas, different customs.
Hannah, your shawl, where did that come from?
That is from Intal.
Intel.
Yeah.
So cassettes on a shawl
It's, two different
are
things.
two different pieces.
Right.
So the one I went over is different from this one.
Okay.
Yes.
The shawl is more intricate than this because usually the front is almost the complete front is smocked like my sleeve. This was expensive, but the shawl is a little more. And I'm proud to have it.
The hat with the long
Yeah.
streamers, what occasions would that be worn for?
In areas in Inter for weddings, for funerals, Taufe, festive occasions.
Okay.
Holidays like
High
Christmas.
holidays like
Yes.
Easter, Christmas,
Yeah.
okay. So it's best, yeah.
Excuse me? No. But once you're married, you do not dance officially, just for fun, but not for
Because it's a
Schuhplattler.
courting dance. You can't very well go around and court.
Unless you're not married anymore. Unless you're not married anymore.
Technically, then you're not married anymore.
Or if you want to keep your husband, you might want to keep flirting with him once in a while.
You just find that out.
And then, so you guys all saw the used Tracht booth. Please, everyone here wants all of that gone. So if you see something and you're like, this is just too much for me, go ask that person, hey, would you mind selling it for this? Yeah.
I put on my stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, so please take a look. And, all right.
Thank you.